Hi lovelies, today I'm going to root this wig. I have Wonderbar 3/0 and 3% peroxide. I have black towels and kitchen paper cut up to separate the sections. This will prevent the dark tint from spotting the blonde, and I have already sectioned it off. I take small sections and hold the section tight while I'm painting the roots. Then with my forefinger and middle finger I gently blend downwards. It's worth doing this process slowly and carefully so you don't get tint everywhere. I'm being very careful to wipe my hands after every application, on the towel and on the kitchen paper if I need to, just to make sure there's absolutely no dark colour on my gloves. I also clean the brush so that there's only colour on the end of the brush and there's no colour on the handle or down smushed up against the end of the brush, because that will make it much tidier and much easier to work with. And I really don't want any splodging. As you can see a bit further on the video, I do have a bit of a splodge, and so I have to wipe it off very quickly, because doing a job like this is very hard to keep the colours separately. So now you can see that I am separating it with the kitchen paper, and I fold it and clip it so it doesn't move. Just going back a little to the preparation, you can see that the hair that I'm not colouring at the moment is actually clipped away in a bunch, and also clipped, if there's any stray hairs, they're all clipped away, because there is nothing worse than getting a splodge. I'm talking a lot about splodges actually, but it's very easy to get splashed and sploshed with this dark colour, so it's well away. Also, my foil on the table there is completely clean, so if any of the dark colour, I don't know if you can notice that when I put the dark colour on the roots, I'm only painting the very roots, but as you can see, the wig has a darker piece, obviously not black, but it has a darker piece that is a bit lower down, so that's why I'm using my fingers to blend it down so that it's not a complete straight line. And so the root colour that is on the wig at the moment really doesn't match the lady's skin colour, so the very dark brown / black colour that I'm putting on her roots is going to really match with her skin tone. It's going to be amazing. Now that I've finished the top, I'm going to develop it for 10 minutes and then wash it off at the back. And then I'm going to come back to the chair and unclip everything and then do one side and then wash it off and then do the other side and wash it off. Now that I've washed the back off, you can see I've tied that up now out of the way, and now I'm going to do one side and up to the parting, and then I'm going to time that for 10 minutes and then wash it off. I realised here that I had used a clip for the back section and it had colour on it, so I quickly wiped that off. You have to be very, very careful, because if you miss something like that, as you can see where I've clipped it, you'd have a nice dark line there and you wouldn't realise till it was coming off, and then there's no way you can get rid of that apart from bleaching it again. So that's very important to keep a watch on the clips and make sure all your sections are very clean, and your gloves and everything, like I've said before, your gloves are clean, you're wiping your hands constantly, which is what I'm doing. And around the front here, I'm tearing the kitchen paper so that it's not very wide, so that it's just about the width of the sections, so that it's just easier to handle. There's not paper everywhere. And if I need to clip it, then I will, but actually it sticks to the tint quite nicely, so I don't normally around the sides and the front have to clip it too much. Just watch out to make sure it's not slipping. Around the sides and the front here, I am making sure that when I'm blending it, I blend it right up to the light brown, but no further than that, because obviously I still want it to be very blonde, but I don't want it to be stripy. So sometimes if you're not careful, you could have a banding. You could have like a dark band and then a light brown band and then the blonde at the ends. That's really not nice, really not very attractive, so I'm trying really hard. Also at the top here where the parting is, I'm trying not to get the lace coloured, so I'm taking most of the colour off of the brush, just wiping the brush quite clean, so there's no excess. So I'm just really rubbing it very carefully, and you can see at the end of, when I do the parting at the end here, that I, with my sort of fingers, my little finger I think, I make sure to just blend it down to where the light brown finishes. Wigs have a lot of hair, so much more hair than our head of hair mostly, so it takes a long time to apply, and this is why I do it in 3 sections normally. I always do the back first and wash it off, and then I do one side, wash it off, and then the other side and wash it off. And I always do it this way because in the past I have tried to do the whole thing in one section, in the whole, like doing the whole wig in one go. Normally I'm talking about just doing a colour now, like a whole colour, not just the roots, and it just doesn't work with processed wigs. They tend to grab onto the colour, and I know this one is very dark anyway, and probably wouldn't have mattered how long I left it on for, it wouldn't have got any darker, but this is the way I'm used to doing it, and I actually feel much more comfortable doing it this way, clipping them out, clipping the ones that clipping the pieces that I've done out of the way, and then starting again on another piece. This is just how I do it. And I wouldn't do this on a person actually, but obviously wigs are different because they have so much hair. I'm going to leave it on 10 minutes now, and then I'll wash it off and bring it back to the chair, and then I'll show you the finished product. And there you have it. You can see lovely dark roots, lovely blonde ends. It's come out really nice. Very excited about this. So I will show you it dry and styled. Also, she wants it cut too. I'll show you pictures at the end of the video.